I'm Donna Mills, Moscow. I wanted to follow up on what Sarah said about the gap. So I looked up how many people are falling in that gap, and it is just under 80,000 people as an estimate. That seems like an unacceptable amount of acceptable casualties.
My name is Susan Kilgore. I'm from Moscow, Idaho. I'm an educator. Education is a human right. I'm the kid of a doc. I had great health care my whole life. I thought everybody did. Health care is a human right. Clean air, clean environment, they're human rights. And that's what we're here for, it seems to me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Sheridan. I'm from Moscow, Idaho. I graduated in 2009, which was a hard time to graduate from college, given the economic situation. And I went into AmeriCorps for 2 years, where I earned on-the-job skills and further educational training, and was able to pay off my college debts within a few years. And now I'm a graduate student at the University of Idaho, where I grade the homeworks of Idaho students. And I would urge our senators and representatives to support education in Idaho, because we cannot afford to undermine our students anymore.
We hear a lot of talk about vouchers for education, that we should be giving vouchers so people can go to another school rather than public school and get a better education. Well, I think it's time we make our public schools the best schools, and we need to be focusing on that. Public education is the, quote, free education, the education available to everyone. Let's make that education system the best. Sorry, Greg.
Thank you. I'm Bob Carver. I live in Moscow. I didn't come with a prepared statement, but I would urge our senators and representatives to, despite what Senator Mitch McConnell said, that they're not going to go it alone, work with people across the aisle as you work to repair the ACA, Alternative Care Act. One suggestion I would have for you is that many people on your side of the aisle says, oh, all we got to do is have a tax credit. Well, I can assure you that for probably 70% of the people in this country, in Idaho, the median income is about $47,000 for a family, and so a family of four is not going to have, probably does not pay more than $1,000 federal income tax, and so a tax credit is not going to help them to buy $10,000 worth of insurance. And so don't embarrass us and don't embarrass yourself by coming back and say, okay, all we got to do is have a tax credit for people and it's going to take care of their health care. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary Hughes. I'm from Moscow. I do have a prepared statement. It's been said that nations behave wisely once they exhaust all the other alternatives. And I submit that we have exhausted all the other alternatives to providing health care in this country. It's time to expand Medicare and cover everyone. Universal coverage is the best way forward. Not to mention it's the right and just and compassionate thing to do.
I'm going to stay seated. I'm Ann Renali. I live in Pullman, but I taught in Bonners Ferry for 15 years, so I want to talk about education in Idaho. Betsy DeVos views charter schools and school vouchers as a means for increasing school choice. Well, Idaho actually already has a lot of school choice. There are 23 magnet schools that provide an emphasis on specific subjects. Those all serve urban areas. There are 52 charter schools. Some are in large urban areas, Boise, Idaho Falls. Some are in medium urban areas, such as Moscow and Pocatello, that have an emphasis on college education. And some are in smaller urban areas, such as Eagle and Haley, but they are not in rural areas. 3/4 of Idaho's school districts are rural. 1/3 of Idaho's school districts operate on a 4-day week to save money. Most of those are in rural areas, and so kids, between riding the bus and doing a 7-hour school day, are gone for 9 or 10 hours a day to do that. Charter schools are not going to help rural areas. You can't add another school in a place with limited resources. Vouchers are not going to help because of geographical distances. You can't drive from one county to another. I mean, in northern Idaho, the county is the school district. You can't drive to the next county with a voucher, practically anyway. So where do rural schools get their support? Mostly from the federal government. The federal government currently provides support for students with special learning needs, students for whom English is a second language, migrant and immigrant students, students of low income, students who are homeless, students with American Indian heritage. It also provides funding for schools with higher poverty rates through the free and reduced lunch count. So I guess my point is we can't shift this kind of federal funding away from schools, or rural schools are really going to lose. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hezra Barnes. I'm from Genesee. My problem is with the schools. My daughters both go to public school. We live in Genesee. It's a great school. We're lucky to have such a good school where we live. But it's because of the teachers spending their time, their money to provide for them. My question is with the charter schools and things like that, children with IEPs are going to be the ones that are disadvantaged because they don't follow IEPs like the state has to. My question is, what are you going to do for the children who have to have IEPs? An IEP is for children who have either mental or physical disabilities. It puts them in the special education classes. I'm pretty sure that individual education planning. I also have friends that have children with them. So, and they've looked at private schools for their kids, but they just can't do it because they don't follow them.
I'm Georgia Tolby and I live in Moscow, Idaho, and I've been a teacher for many years. And I'd like to address two things that my question has to do with, and that's both the education and the arts. I cannot tell you how many stories I could tell you of young people who were literally saved by humanities and or music and or art, those kinds of activities within the school curriculum. And the idea of taking funding away from that kind of joy, that kind of opportunity for kids, is going to not only affect their education, but it's also going to affect their mental health, because I cannot tell you how many kids were really, genuinely saved by those programs in the schools that I taught.
My name's Paul Manita, and I'd like to say that the only way you're going to get changes that we say in this meeting
is to go out and vote, because vote is the only way you're going to get people to change. And when you go out and meet with your friends, tell them about voting. And especially during the day for voting, remind people to go out and vote. And then you'll get good changes rapidly.
My name is Mary Baker. I'm a healthcare worker in Moscow, Idaho. And I think we need to remember that I certainly believe everyone should have affordable health care or free health care. But we have a significant shortage of healthcare providers in the state of Idaho. And I think it's very important to support the education aspect of educating people to go into the medical fields. Thanks to Dan Schmidt and many of his people that worked with him in Boise when he was down there, we were able to increase the University of Washington medical program to 40. And so we are on the track to be increasing that, but there still is a huge deficit. And certainly we would like to be able to take care of everybody in the state of Idaho. So I encourage you to keep that in mind, that education is a huge part of the puzzle of healthcare.